Concord is a better game than Dark Souls 2. Not really. I'm just trying to get your attention. But now that I have your attention, I just finished my Dark Souls Remastered item description run. Go check that out if you want to. It's a full playthrough. Go enjoy. But if you've seen that, or if you're just interested in Dark Souls 2, that's what this video is for. We're going to be heading through the Forest of the Fallen Giants. I'm going to be reading item descriptions along the way, and I know you're probably thinking, like, how many item descriptions are we going to have in this video? 30? 40? How about 115? Yeah, that's right. Anyway, let's get to the video. If you enjoy the video, please like, comment, subscribe, help the channel grow. We're trying to grow over here. Okay, can you blame me? Can you? No, you can't. So let's just begin. Subscribe. Boom. Begin. We're gonna have ourselves a good time. Let's begin. It's been a while since I played Dark Souls 2. I guess not a super long time, but I've played a lot of Dark Souls 1 recently. Alright, looks like we have our first item here. Rusted coin. Let's read it, shall we? Actually, we have a lot of items to read, so we'll just go through everything. First up, we have the Dark Sign and a Cursed Mark. The Dark Sign induces death, returning the player to the last bonfire rested at the cost of all souls held. Do what you must to gather the pieces, scraping them into some semblance of a whole, before the will to do so fades. Now we have the Rusted Coin. An old rusted coin. Crushing the coin temporarily boosts luck. This rusted coin gives you that little extra bit of luck, making items and the like easier to find. The coin is engraved with the image of a god that was worshipped in ancient times, but no one knows its true origins. Next up, we have the Black Separation Crystal, a symbol of farewells that has been passed down since time immemorial. The crystal sends phantoms back to their homes, or sends you back to yours. Whether ending in hope or despair, encounters are valuable experiences. Beware of fickle use of this item. Now we have the Bone of Order. I'm gonna be honest, I don't pay any attention to this item. I have no idea what this is. Online play item. You will be punished for fleeing from other worlds by disconnecting unjustly. However, this charm will disperse the ire directed at you. But sins are not easily buried, and there's no telling if you will be let off so easily next time. Each encounter in life is a precious turn of fate, and fate will not be cheated. Now for the Imported Hood. Hemp hood that fully covers the face, provides protection from the elements, and little more. The cursed soul who wanders the lands have a strange way of ending up here, as if drawn from afar by some force. Now we have the Small, Smooth, and Silky Stone. A smooth and silky stone, used to slightly restore health. The shine of the stone is no ordinary polish, and can only be achieved over a long period. Some in this land are in search of such stones.
What seems to be the ruckus?
Oh my, your face. The face of the curse. It's an undead. An undead has come to play. They all end up here. All the ones like you. You spoke to that kind old dear, didn't you?
You're finished. You'll go hollow. Yes, you'll become one of them.
Hollows prey upon men, feast upon their souls. This is the fate of the cursed.
What is your name?
I will name myself Simon, after my dog, Simon.
At least you know your own name. Here's your reward for sharing. It's a human effigy.
Take a closer look.
Who do you think it's supposed to be? Think back, deep into your past. Yes, it's an effigy of you.
I've done enough. I think he looks good. I think he's ready. All right, there we go.
All people come here for the same reason. To break the curse. You're no different, I should think. Doesn't stand a chance.
Well, you never know.
I fail to see the humor.
And trot along to the kingdom. But remember, hold on to your souls. They're all that keep you from going hollow. Oh, I'll fool you no longer. You'll lose your souls. All of them. Over and over again.
Probably not as much as they think, honestly. Oh, I'll lose them, but not as much as they think I will. Well, here we are. We're in the game. Reclaim flesh and set out as an undead. Yay! Wow, I've never seen this armor. Actually, I've never played this class. All right, let's do some reading, shall we? All right, so first up we have the human effigy. A warm, soft, shadow-like effigy. Use this item to reverse hollowing. It also weakens the links to other worlds, preventing invasions and most cooperation. Peer closely at an effigy, and one begins to perceive a human form. But whose form it takes depends on the person looking. Alright, life gem. Small stone made up of crystallized souls. Gradually restores a small amount of HP. Often found near abandoned corpses, as if it were what remains of the soul. Radiant life gem. This one gradually restores HP, instead of saying gradually restores a small amount. At the bottom it says, the dull glimmer of these mysterious stones brightens with the passage of time. Old radiant life gem. Gradually restores a large amount of HP. A rare stone with so brilliant a shine would fetch a handsome price. But what value could it really have without knowing who died to leave it behind? Poison moss. A faintly poisonous clump of moss. When ingested, it counteracts poison and cleanses one's insides. If enough poison builds up in the body to break out and cause poisoning, your HP will start to decrease. If you wish to stay alive, you would do well to keep a supply close to hand. Witching urn. A small clay urn enwreathed in magic. Explodes, inflicting magic damage. Created in Melphia, a land that flourishes with magic and pyromancy. Though the magic contained in the urn lacks potency, it is a boon to any inexperienced traveler. Aromatic ooze. A mysterious sticky substance that radiates a pale white light. Applies magic to right-hand weapon. The affected weapon inflicts magic damage for a short time. Particularly effective against heavily armored foes or creatures with thick scales. Repair powder. Enchanted metal rendered into powder. Repairs equipment. Weapons and armor wear down with use. Allow too much wear and you won't be able to use them. You have only yourself to blame if you find yourself in crisis with no powder to spare. I do want to note that every time you go to a bonfire, it repairs your stuff, so this stuff doesn't really get a lot of use unless you have a weapon with low durability, or if you're just not going back to the bonfire much. Prism stone. A slightly warm rock. Emits a beautiful phasing aura of 7 colors, with a very rare 8th. The prism stone does nothing special, but if you feel you may lose your way, it can serve as a path marker. Here's a little detail about the first game. It has the same description, at least on the top. I'm not sure if it's the entire same description, but it talks about with a very rare 8th color. At least in the first game, that rare 8th color, there is no rare 8th color. It's just all used. There's just 8 colors, and none of them are particularly rare. At least that's what I remember. I don't know if they changed it in this game to make it actually true, but in the first game, there's a little detail for you. Pharos Lockstone. Stone activating a creation of Pharos the Vagabond. Pharos the Vagabond was a legend who wandered the lands, creating contraptions to help those in sincere and dire need. The scope of his travels was so wide that Pharos has been mistakenly credited with many inventions that were crafted by others. Now we have a dagger. A standard dagger. Has only modest attack and short reach, but can be jabbed in rapid succession. With a powerful critical attack, this is a potent weapon in the hands of the capable. Traveling Merchant Hat. A hat worn by merchants from Lanafir, where blue represents knowledge. Wearing this increases item discovery. Lanafir is the farthest land to the south and follows a strict edict of isolationism. The rare visitor from Lanafir is always a little odd. Effect, raises item discovery. How fun is that? Traveling Merchant Coat. Coat worn by merchants from Lanafir. The eagle is normally a symbol of strength, but in Lanafir, it symbolizes wealth. Here's the beauty of this playthrough already for me personally. I didn't even know this place existed. I don't read the item descriptions very much in these games. Had no idea that this was a place. I'm already learning stuff. The rest say the same thing. So, we're done with those. Alright, and then we have one ring here. Spell Quartz Ring. A ring bestowed upon students of a certain standard at the Melfian Magic Academy. Its soul-based quartz increases magic defense. Pyromancer Glocken crafts these replicas, much to the dismay of the conservative old guard faculty. And then we have wood bolts here. Wood bolt. Inexpensive wooden bolts. Not very intimidating, but highly portable and easy to use. Use of a crossbow requires the equipping of bolts, which are shorter than arrows. Yeah, well, we don't even have a crossbow, so... whatever. Alright, so we're finished reading for now. I feel like I've been hit with a lot more items in the beginning of this game than I was in the first game, but I'm not sure. I'm gonna try and just throw the witching urns at this guy. The item discovery is nice. Probably rock this outfit for a while. Or the hat, I mean. Yeah, okay, it does a little bit of damage, which is real nice. You just want to bait this guy. He drops a ring, which would be nice to read. When I run out, I'm just going to use the ooze, or I'm just going to kill him. I mean, he doesn't have much health left. Yeah, he's dead. This guy has some weird hit. What the? Okay. Oops. Okay, I forgot I ran out of those. I'm gonna just give him the little stabby stabs. There we go. And he drops a ring for us, which we are about to read. However, there's another item over here, so we might as well grab that before we read this. Gold pine resin. Alright, let's read. Gold pine resin. A rare pine resin with a golden glint. Applies lightning to right-hand weapon. The affected weapon inflicts lightning damage for a short time. Particularly effective against foes who are resistant to magic and fire. There are plenty of enemies that are resistant to magic, fire, and lightning though. So, not always a guarantee on that end. Stone ring. The beloved ring of the gallant, shieldless Lothian. Formerly of Ferosa. Hits greatly reduce enemy poise. The effect may seem trivial, but for those who comprehend how critical it is to exploit a hole in enemy defenses, the significance of this ring will be clear. And that's why I'm going to wear the ring. Another nice thing they did in this game, you can wear 4 rings now. And we have something here. Soul of a Lost Undead and a torch. Well, let's get to reading. Here's the thing with this series. There's going to be a lot of reading at first before we start picking up, like, you know, duplicates of things. So, yeah, it's going to be very item reading heavy in the beginning, but we'll definitely be reading items throughout. Honestly, where do you read torches? I don't know if you can read the torch item. It doesn't seem like you can, so I guess we're just going to read Soul of a Lost Undead. Soul of a Lost Undead who has long ago gone hollow. Used to acquire souls. The soul is the source of all life, and even in undeath, or hollowing, the mind seeks souls. It's like a subconscious thing. Nothing but a dagger. And a monocle. Can't forget the monocle. Alright, we'll go ahead and go through this like tutorial type stuff. Nice and simple. These enemies are very weak. They're supposed to just make you feel pretty good about things. There's no like gotcha boss in the beginning of this game like there is in Dark Souls 1 and 3. Where it's like, okay, now it's time to die. In this game, you know, they kind of start you off just with the tutorial. You can go to that, you know, that troll thing that I killed, but, you know, that's not a boss. Alright, our first chance of death will be upon us soon enough. Kick that ladder down. They want us to give them smooth. I will give them smooth. We may have an item to read, we may not. We're gonna find out. Titanite shard. I don't have any more smooth. Shut up. So I will read that. However, there's an item here, and there's me almost dying. Let's just, oh wait, I kicked the ladder. Let's ignore I did that, alright? Soul of a nameless soldier. Soul of a nameless undead soldier who has long ago gone hollow. Used to acquire souls. Titanite shard. Titanite shard used to reinforce equipment. Reinforces equipment up to +3. Titanite was discovered in an ancient layer of earth and is said to be a gift of the gods. Titanite of this size has very little power, but it is still a rare find. I call these amber herds. Drives my friend crazy. Anyway, the amber herd says, an annual herb with an amber color so deep, it gives the impression of luminescence. Restores a small number of spell uses. It is the mistaken belief of many that the flowers of this herb do not blossom. However small, white flowers do blossom during dusk when the moon is visible. This is our 30th item we've read. Cracked Red Eye Orb. Online play item. Invade other worlds. Defeat the master of the world you have invaded to acquire a token of spite. The residual sins of those who have succumbed to dark temptations are contained in the form of the Cracked Red Eye Orb. 30 items, haven't even left the beginning. Well, get ready for some magic. Majula. Now everybody talks this area up, but I gotta say, me too, man. This area is so nice. Wait till you hear the music. You already know the music. Let's be honest, you know you've heard it. It's good. You're a wizard, Harry. Divine blessing. Haha. I will read it here in a second. There's a couple more items I can grab. I might as well grab them now, right? So we have Divine Blessing. There's an item behind me. Morningstar Cleric's Sacred Chime. Binoculars. Okay, so first up we have Divine Blessing. Holy water endowed with a Divine Blessing. Cures status effects and fully restores HP. Water blessed by an ancient goddess. Her name is long forgotten, and the Magic Academy of Melfia denies even her existence. In any age, there are those who refuse to see reason. It is their meddling that distorts the truth. Morningstar. Morningstar, a club fitted with a spiked head. The spikes of this blunt weapon cause bleeding, normally wielded by clerics, but clearly intended to draw blood. Binoculars. Binoculars are used to peer at distant sights, equipped in place of a weapon to use. A rare tool crafted in Volgan. These won't help you in battle, but with a little creativity, can be put to good use. And then now we have Cleric's Sacred Chime. Most clerics receive this as their first sacred chime. A catalyst for miracles and hexes. To use miracles, equip a sacred chime and attune a miracle at a bonfire. The strength of most miracles is affected by the caster's faith. Now before we talk to the Emerald Herald over here, we're going to gather some items from around the place because I figure we might as well get it out of the way now. Just go around and collect some stuff real fast. And now we can level up with her. But, you know, we got items to read. Estus Flask. A green glass bottle of unknown make. Fill it with Estus at a bonfire and drink from it to restore HP. The nature of the link between the Estus flasks and the bonfires that illuminate the world of the undead is entirely unknown, but that is of little concern, for any undead knows the value of these precious flasks. Estus Flask Shard. The shard of an Estus flask. Shards are deeply soaked in Estus. Graft the shard to an Estus flask to increase flask uses. Over the ages, countless souls rested their bones as they drank from the original flask, and now this shard remains, serving as a vestige of their hopes and dreams. And then I gained this ring called Blue Seal. Ring of the Way of Blue Covenant. Increases HP slightly. The Way of Blue is not a developed religion. It is a humble prayer that spread naturally amongst those seeking help. When apostles of blue are invaded by dark spirits, they can receive assistance from masters of other worlds. Iron Parma. A small shield made of iron. The unusual design suggests a foreign origin. Lightweight despite its iron construction, and sturdy despite its small size, but not sufficient to protect one from real danger. Silver Eagle Kite Shield. Medium-sized metal shield. A commonly used, standard shield. Has a pointed top design for ease of use while on horseback. Twin Dragon Great Shield. A wooden great shield featuring twin dragons. Quite light for this size of shield. One requires strength to handle a great shield, but they are very stable. In battle, one fights using shield bash instead of parrying. Standard Helm. Helmet made of iron. A commonplace piece of armor. No embellishments. Very solid. And the entire set says the same thing for that. Now we have infantry armor. Armor worn by Drang Lake infantry. A piece of basic minimal equipment. At least it's light and easy to use. And those all say the same thing, which is kind of nice. Now for the Falconer set. Helm worn by the Volgan Falconers. Domestic Volgan soldiers are infamously timid, so it is no wonder that this fierce band of mercenary falconers was hired to compensate. In practice, they serve as bodyguards for the affluent elite, and they serve well, such that nobody dares scrutinize their backgrounds. And that all says the same thing. Now for the last bit before we move on. Ring of the Evil Eye. A modest but inexplicably disturbing ring. Absorb HP for each enemy defeated. Peer too closely at the rare stone that forms the eye of this ring, and things that writhe and stir may come into focus. Silver Cat Ring. Silver ring depicting a leaping feline. Reduces damage from falling. Legend has it that when cats grow old, a force brews within them, and they are reborn as something new. Red Eye Ring. A cursed ring depicting a demon eye. Becomes easier to be detected by enemies. If it is tranquility that you seek, then you should never have left your home. If you seek strife, then fair enough, but no need to overdo it. Name Engraved Ring. A special ring that can be engraved with the name of a god. Becomes easier to connect to worlds of players who chose the same god. There are countless vestiges of long-lost gods in the ruins of Drang Lake. Or perhaps they are the very same gods as ours, only known by different names. Ring of Whispers. Ring worn by Roy the Explorer. Hear the inner voices of surrounding foes. Useful for locating hidden enemies and perhaps for a few other things as well. Homeward Bone. A white ashen bone. Return to last bonfire rested at. Bonfires burn on the bones of undead, and this bone, belonging to one whose journey was cut short, has the power to travel to bonfires, as if it yearns to resume its futile quest. Alluring Skull. A skull of unknown ownership. Smashing it releases traces of souls which attracts nearby foes. Does not work on all enemies, but can prove useful in unexpected ways. I've never used this item. And then we have Lloyd's Talisman. Talisman used by cleric knights. Blocks Estus recovery within a limited area. It is said that the cleric knights use these talismans to hunt down accursed undead. Cleric knights fight with pride, and by blocking the recovery of the undead, they can also fight with impunity. Let's move. This is where you go first, usually. What do we got? Rusted coin, thank you. See, that's the benefit of reading all those items straight off the bat right at the beginning, is now I'm picking up items I've already read. So now the gameplay can start to flow a bit more. I wonder what my frames are. Is this capped at 60 frames? Oh, hi, buddy. Or can you go higher? It's pretty smooth regardless. I've had like 0 issues. Hollow infantry armor. Armor worn by hollowed infantry. A piece of basic, minimal equipment. Worse yet, it's worn and nearly falling apart. Not recommended unless your options are spent. Well, my options are not spent. So this guy's kind of bait back here, but I'm still gonna kill him. Oh, he got a hold of me right there. Dagger is something I'm not used to using, I'll be honest. If you can't tell. Want to get rid of this guy at least before I run off to heal. Oh, nope. We're just going to go heal. Oh, I'm stuck. Okay. Well, that's my first achievement. Or not my first achievement, but that's my first time dying. I should have stayed behind those rocks right there. That's something, isn't it? Okay, so this is what happens when you die. You start to look really sexy. You also lose a little bit of maximum health. Just a little bit right there if you can't tell. Throwing knife. Used as a projectile. This simple weapon is easily utilized. Its range is limited, and it deals very little damage, but even still, it is a valuable tool in the absence of other ranged weapons. Green Blossom, new item to read. I want to do like a single slash type situation. Does anyone see me? I want to read this. Green Blossom. Green weed shaped like a leafy flower. Temporarily boosts stamina recovery speed. At one point, this herb was avoided due to its unusually bitter taste, but once its effects became known, it was harvested to near extinction by merchants. Now, only exceptionally rare wild specimens of this plant are left. Short sword. A small straight sword. Longer than a dagger, but still lightweight. Widely used as it requires no particular strength. A reasonable choice that will suffice in many situations, but not the thing to take along if you expect to face any serious challenge. We have a broken straight sword. Tee-hee. Here's a story behind that. This is Dark Souls 2 Scholar of the First Sin. In the original version of this game, when you go to that body over there and you pick up that weapon or that item, it is a very good weapon called the Hyde's Knight Sword. That's not the official name, I don't think, but it's basically a sword that has lightning damage in it, and it's pretty good. I'm pretty sure they were like, we probably shouldn't just give this to people this early. So in this version of the game, they just put that cheeky little broken sword, so when people played the game, they're like, what? Where's the Hyde's Knight Sword? Now, if I was Zero Linny, I'd be right at home. Broken straight sword, alright, we got our weapon for the game. But I'm not. I'm nowhere near as good as him at this game, that's for sure. Also, if I was Zero Linny, I would have trash talked this game like a million times over by now. Anyway, this item description goes out to Zero Linny. Broken straight sword. Straight sword with its blade broken near in half. I would have never guessed that. Nearly useless in battle, but nearly useless trumps empty-handed. Correct. This is probably the most dangerous part before the next bonfire, I would say. That next bonfire is going to be really nice. So you could just hop in this way. Hello? But should you? I say no. However, I'm going to throw this. Get his attention. Take it nice and easy. I don't want to screw up now. Well, you know, it didn't all go according to plan, but it worked out. Another life gem. Hello. I forgot that guy'd be there, but he gave us a million years to react. We're almost to the bonfire. Now our target is down there. The sword we want. Going in. Unfortunately, I will have to buy something because this is a very valuable merchant. Plus, she has something that we absolutely need. Alright, so our first item here. Hand axe. A crude hand axe. More of a tool than a weapon. Its short range necessitates close range and therefore perilous combat. Does a respectable amount of damage, however, considering it's relatively lightweight. Now we have the Unga Bunga Club. A wooden club. A primitive weapon to be certain, but quite powerful. So much so that it can break the guard of a shield. The Caestus. Weapon used to strike with one's fists. The thick leather covering bears iron studs and protects the hands while augmenting their striking power. Attacks with the fists are solely dependent on one's strength. With this weapon, any encounter becomes a brawl. Hell yeah. Our 60th item read. Firebomb. Bisque urn filled with black powder. Explodes, inflicting fire damage. Though this urn is a crude and commonplace weapon, it owes its continued usage to its simplicity and effectiveness in a variety of situations. Now we have Bright Bug, which is a very interesting item. A tiny bug that produces light. Bright bugs are said to comfort the dead and are found in the marshlands leading to the undead crypt. By ingesting a bright bug just before death, the moment at which they glow most brightly, one attains great power for a short time. Often utilized as a last resort for adventurers who have lost their way. Has no effect in other worlds or for phantoms. Fragrant Branch of Yore. A fragrant tree branch with a faint sweet smell. Restores the life of things turned to stone. Extended inhalation of the branch's scent can lead to a coughing and nausea. And now, Linnegrast's Key. Key of Blacksmith Linnegrast of Majula. Majula, the land of exiles, is comprised of abandoned old houses, one of which Linnegrast has fashioned into a workshop. And very unfortunately, we have to buy it. Unfortunately, because we're kind of hurting for souls, but that's alright. Now we have Soul Arrow. An elementary sorcery. Fires a small soul arrow straight ahead. To use sorceries, attune a sorcery at a bonfire and equip a staff. Heal says, a healing miracle widely used by clerics, slightly restores HP. To use a miracle, equip a sacred chime and attune a miracle at a bonfire. Okay, so after a bit, she is going to go to Majula, and she'll be there the whole game. Pretty useful. Then we have Linnegrast's Key, which is also pretty useful. Hollow Soldier Helm. Helm worn by hollowed royal soldiers. Appears to be crafted with quality materials, but is highly degraded and close to falling apart. Wearing this will be little of use. Buckler. A traditional small metal shield. Small shields are very light and easy to use, but have low stability when attacked. The center of a buckler is convex, designed to brush attacks aside, making parrying easier. Small nipple shield. I'm kidding. Small leather shield. Small leather covered shield, a particularly traditional type of small shield. Small shields are very light and easy to use, but not very stable when attacked. Small white sign soapstone. Let's give it a read. Small white sign soapstone. Online play item. Leave summon sign. Be summoned as a shade to another world in order to help that world's master for a certain time. You will be rewarded for successfully assisting the other player. The effect is not as long-lived as that of the white sign soapstone and is used only in particular places. My goodness. There's a lot of items in the beginning of this game, isn't there? Okay, so for this playthrough, I'm going to be running pyromancy. The way pyromancy works is it uses a mix of your intelligence and your faith stat. So my ultimate goal is to have about, 30 intelligence, 30 faith. Unfortunately, I'm not going to have access to pyromancy for a little bit. Luckily, there is a longsword that has flame scaling on it, which is, pyromancy scaling. So my next goal is to go pick that up. Okay, yeah, this is a much better substitute weapon. Time for some damage, because you can't drop off that little bitty thing without taking some damage. For some reason. Nice. We'll gather some souls along the way. There's this guy. Nice try. I have no stamina. That is pretty rude. These guys will be the toughest part of the fight, or the quest. But with some care, they're not that bad. Little bit of care and caution. Foot soldier shield, a small shield used by Drang Lake foot soldiers. A clearly makeshift shield that does not offer significant defense. The only advantage of this shield is that it makes parrying easier. Yeah, this is the simple way. We already have a dangerous enough situation coming up anyway. There it goes. I'm gonna grab this. Took me a year. Now I'm gonna read that Soul of a Proud Knight, but I want to get this item first so we can read them together. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so it's just 3. Just 3. Gotcha. Hey, he's just watching me. Thanks. And this is our prize. Fire Longsword. Soul of a Proud Knight. Soul of a proud undead knight who has long ago gone hollow. Used to acquire many souls. The soul is the source of all life, and even in undeath or hollowing, the mind seeks souls. It's the longsword description, not really fire longsword. It just happens to have fire infused on it, so just longsword. It says, longsword, standard straight sword. This straight sword is sufficient in most respects and effective in most situations if wielded properly. Those who aspire to master the sword are certain to wield this at some point during their journey. Well, you can use the longsword the entire game. Longswords are great, no matter what build you do. As long as you have the requirement to wield one, you could infuse whatever you want on it. They're just good swords. Our little blacksmith friend, he's got some items for us. Broadsword, standard straight sword. This straight sword is sufficient in most respects and effective in most situations if wielded properly. The falchion. Still don't know if I say that correctly, but that's alright. Why start now? A standard curved sword. Each slash of a curved sword does less damage than a straight sword, but can deal a series of hits in flowing succession. The sharp blade is effective at causing bleeding, but is soon dulled. Beware when facing rock-solid foes. The S-stock. A large thrusting sword with a blade. The sturdy, slender, long blade is designed to pierce the armor of enemies, and its strong attack can even inflict damage upon foes hiding behind shields. Though primarily a thrusting sword, its blade can also be used to slash your enemy. Then it says effect, shield piercing, strong attack. Rapier, a standard thrusting sword. Thrusting swords are light swords with fine tips that can be used while holding up a shield and are effective for parrying. Use quick thrust to damage hard-skinned foes. Also effective when fighting in narrow spaces. Battle axe, an axe crafted for battle. Axes generally deal more damage than swords, but each swing leaves its wielder vulnerable. One is tempted to swing axes with wild abandon, but in fact their effective manipulation demands caution and precise timing. Mace, a club fitted with a head, crafted for battle. The mace is the archetypal blunt weapon. It has a primitive appearance, but also many advantages, including the ability to break the guard of a shield. Keep the proper distance from your foe, and this can be a very effective weapon. Spear. A standard spear. Spears allow one to attack a foe from a distance and while holding up a shield. Thrusting attacks are effective even against opponents with strong defense, but they have a narrow point of contact and won't effectively break through a shielded defense. Wood arrow. Inexpensive wooden arrows. Easily acquired but not very threatening. Bows are excellent tools for attacking foes from a safe distance but require the equipping of some type of arrows. Iron arrow. Standard arrows made of iron. Sturdy arrows that pierce effectively. Iron arrows are powerful but not cheap. Be certain not to overuse them. Heavy bolt. Standard crossbow bolts made of iron, effective at piercing enemies. Very effective in ranged attacks, though somewhat expensive to use willy-nilly. Can I just say I appreciate them saying willy-nilly in a Dark Souls description? That seems really out of place. Short bow. The type of small bow used by hunters in training. Equip arrows to use. Equip up to 2 types of arrows to give yourself immediate options in battle. Use arrows to hit enemies from afar to gain the upper hand by drawing first blood. Alright, so we are ready to take our character through this level. About time. So, I've played this game on PlayStation, the remastered version. I also played Dark Souls 2 back in the day. Never beat it back then, though. But I can't tell if this looks better or if I'm just crazy. I don't really know. But it looks pretty good. Hollow soldier armor. Armor worn by hollowed royal soldiers. Appears to be crafted with quality materials, but is highly degraded and close to falling apart. Wearing this will be of little use. Okay, here's what I like to do. I like to go up here and just take care of the shortcut, like, right now. You know what I mean? Okay. Alright, aimbot. He's dead. He has an item down there. I better just go grab it. Here's the thing. Some of you may know if you climb that ladder, something happens. The question is, do I do that now or do I save it? Because I definitely could... I've not read the gloves. Let me read those real fast. I definitely could beat what's up there. Hollow infantry gloves. Gloves worn by hollowed infantry. A piece of basic minimal equipment. Worse yet, they're worn... Yeah, it says the same thing. I really need you to really throw a bomb here. Okay, I rolled into that. Do I have a bomb? So I might just do this myself. I believe I have a fire bomb. I believe I am mistaken. Damn it. What am I doing? I have a fire sword. Let's just swing. Yeah. There we go. Voila. And we're good to go. That's certainly one way to do it. Hollow soldier shield. Shield of hollowed royal soldiers. The thing is in tatters and only serves as a shield in a most minimal respect. I'm going to be honest, I don't know how to say this word. I'm going to do my best. The accoutrements of royal soldiers feature a depiction of a brave knight from an old parable. Yeah, I don't know what accoutrements or accoutrements. I don't know how to say that or what it means. Editor, throw in the definition of that word so people can know what that means and I can know what that means. Now for the fun part. Wish me luck. I'm gonna need it. You want to quickly get rid of what you can get rid of. Because here comes Daddy. Daddy's home. He's behind me. I hope you're ready. Oh! Daddy hurts. Let it begin. Okay, actually we do pretty decent damage. Yeah, look at that. So here is the bummer of this though. If I do beat him, there will be no final boss fight. If that makes sense. Like he's missing from the boss arena if you beat him here. I'm not scared. Get a little stab on him. Look how much we've done already. That guy's just watching like, I don't want to get involved. Can I blame him? Let's get a couple swings here. Look at this. Look at this. What do we think? Are you not entertained? Please tell me you're entertained. Otherwise, what am I doing here? Let's forget the fact that if he does hit me, it's absolutely going to mess me up. Will it kill me? I don't think so, but it's not going to be a good time. Okay, I need to chill. I don't have stamina. The goal is to not get greedy at all. I gotta let my stamina recharge. Greed. Goodbye. And that's the final boss of the area, beaten early. Oh, now you want to get... I didn't even know you existed, brother. Who are you? Ring of Blades. The Ring of Blades is modeled after the Mad Knight of Alkin's weapon of choice. Increases physical attack. The kingdoms of Alkin and Vin long ago flourished on these very grounds. They were both founded by the same man, but were reduced to rivalry and spite. As for the soul of the pursuer, Soul of the Pursuer who lurks in Dreng Lake. The pursuer who seeks the bearer of the sign will not rest until his target is slain. Use the special soul of the pursuer to acquire numerous souls or to create something of great worth. So I want to direct your attention to will not rest until his target is slain. They mean that. This is not the last we'll see of him. He'll be back many a time. Yeah, we're going to go down here, take care of some business, and then move on, kill a boss, do a few things hither and thither. Why is he in a, like, help me, step bro, I'm stuck pose? You guys notice that? Like, look from this angle. I don't like it. Okay, so this guy we just spoke to, he's a map nerd. And he's going to go back to Majula here soon. But he gave us a key, so we're going to read that key. House key. Key to the abandoned house in Majula, received from Kale the cartographer. In the past, Majula served as a dumping ground for horrible things, but is now a gathering place for those with no better place to go. It seems this house in Majula was the final home for a few such souls. I am enjoying myself. What? Somebody having fun with Dark Souls 2? Liar! You know the craziest part about this area is you can get a Titanite slab just like right now. There's our best friend Pate. We'll get to him. You gotta be quicker than that, gentlemen. So they're all gonna come for me. And boy, did they. Jesus. Okay, alright, listen, no. We're not doing that. We're not killing me like that. Nice try. We're not into the death. Oh, okay. Nice little parkour off of my nads. I don't even know what to say about that. That just kind of came out of my mouth. Parkour on my nads. Great soul arrow. Large soul of an undead and some kind of shield. Large soul of the lost undead. Large soul of a lost undead who has long ago gone hollow. Pretty standard. Blue wooden shield. Wooden shield used from ancient times. Inferior to metal shields in terms of stability and physical damage reduction. But easy to use and weighing so little that it hardly requires any strength to bear. Now we have Great Soul Arrow. A spell superior to the Soul Arrow. More powerful and effective at damaging enemies resistant to physical attacks. The strength of this spell is influenced by one's intelligence. So this door doesn't open, right? Now, I don't know what the trick is. However, people will open this door. See? Is anyone there? Come on, buddy. Well, you're better off attacking me at once, but okay. I got a halberd. A gem halberd. That'll be nice to read. Gotta remember that. Trying to break his guard. There we go. Yeah, I definitely need more stamina. That would be real nice. Hello. Why don't you come out here, bud? Okay, so there we are. Now we're in this super dark room, which we have an item. So we have the halberd to read. We have life ring and a large titanite. But I might as well grab this last thing here. Because this class starts with a Pharaoh's Logstone. I've never gone this class before. I kind of like it. It's not overly strong, but it is kind of fun to have all those heals and a cool little outfit. So let me grab this stuff. First up, we have the halberd. Halberds are a combination of axes and spears with unique bladed tips. Can be used in spear-like thrust attacks or in axe-like sweeping attacks. The halberd challenges a warrior's skills, but can be a very effective weapon when its two functions are applied properly. Life ring. An old ring set with a red jewel. Raises maximum HP. Each ring has a different power, and even very modest rings can be a great boon on a perilous journey. Now we have the Chloranthy ring. The ring is named for its decorative green blossom, but its luster is long since faded. Raises stamina, recovery speed. Large Titanite shard. Large Titanite shard used to reinforce equipment. Reinforces equipment up to +6. Titanite was discovered in an ancient layer of earth and is said to be a gift of the gods. Titanite of this size has tremendous power and is a very rare find. Now for the Titanite slab. Titanite slab used to reinforce equipment. Reinforces equipment up to +10. Titanite was discovered in an ancient layer of earth and is said to be a gift of the gods. One of the original slabs that provided the world with all forms of Titanite. The Titanite slabs were created to smith the weapons of the gods, or so the legends say.
Hello there. Traveling all alone in these treacherous times. Well, I hope you have a very good reason. Oh, hogwash. Who am I to judge? My name is Pate. I journey hither and thither on a sort of treasure hunt, you might call it. Be careful out there. There's talk of unsavory bandits who prey upon travelers like yourself.
Alright, so now we're trapped in here, and we'll never leave. Except yes, we will. Get rid of these guys real fast. Almost done. Not so bad, but imagine being a beginner and doing that part. I've been that guy. I've definitely died there many a time. Now, there's illusory walls in this game, just like all the other Dark Souls games, but they work differently too. You press... That's the wrong wall. Okay, don't judge me. You have to press a button. You have to press the X button or the A button. I don't know about keyboard. I'm sorry, psychopaths. I'm kidding. I would never use a keyboard and mouse though. I can't do it. So now we have a sorcerer's staff. Let's go ahead and read it. Sorcerer's staff. The first staff of most sorcerers. A catalyst for sorceries and hexes. To use sorceries, attune a sorcery at a bonfire and equip a staff. The strength of most sorceries is affected by the caster's intelligence.
Well, I see you managed to escape. I hope that brave warrior didn't come a cropper either. Be careful out there. There's talk of unsavory bandits who prey upon travelers like yourself. Oh, but you should take this.
White Sign Soapstone. Online play item. Leave summon sign. Be summoned as a phantom to another world in order to help that world's master for a certain time. You will be rewarded with a token of fidelity for successfully assisting the other player. The flow of time is distorted in these lands, and the White Sign Soapstone allows undead to assist one another. Light Crossbow. Our 100th item is a crossbow. I didn't see that coming, honestly. Light Crossbow. A standard crossbow. Equip bolts to use. Unlike bows, a crossbow can be held in one hand. Equip up to 2 types of bolts to give yourself immediate options in battle. Smooth and Silky Stone. A perfectly smooth and silky stone, used to restore HP. The shine of this stone is no ordinary polish, and can only be achieved over a long period. Some in this land are in search of such mystical stones, so even though it's not a small one, it said the exact same thing. We have the Bastard Sword. A standard greatsword. Heavy greatswords are designed to be wielded two-handed, normally swung in large arcs and effective against multiple foes. Be wary that such attacks leave the wielder wide open. And then we have a Mail Breaker. A slightly stubby thrusting sword. Has a sharp, sturdy blade designed for thrusting. The Mail Breaker has limited reach but a powerful critical attack. Effective against foes donning thick armor or with naturally hard skin. Winged Spear. A spear with winged lugs. Longer than standard spears, allowing for attacks from further away. Thrusting attacks are effective even against opponents with higher defense, but they have narrow point of contact and won't effectively break through a shielded defense. Here we are. Almost to the next boss. Life Gem and Homeward Bone. Already read them. He's too slow. Old ironclad armor. We're reading it. Old ironclad armor. Old armor worn by ironclad soldiers. Provides high defense but extremely heavy. One day, warriors wearing decrepit armor emerged from Drangleic Castle and quietly assumed positions amongst the royal army. Not one of them ever spoke a word or revealed the face under the mask. Effect: nullifies foes' critical hits. Large leather shield. A leather-covered shield preferred by hunters. Inferior to metal shields in terms of stability and physical damage reduction, but easy to use and weighing so little that it hardly requires any strength to bear. Fire Arrow. Arrows imbued with fire, tipped with charcoal pine resin. Weapons fortified with fire are effective against foes vulnerable to magic and fire, such as undead or beasts. Useful in the short term for those who have learned no magic or whose magic is exhausted. Look at this giant book. Kind of fun. Pharos Lockstone. We already read it, but we definitely will take all of those we can. Estus Flask Shard. Soul Vessel. We definitely have not read that item. Soul Vessel. A vessel that will accept your souls. It can allow reallocation of levels, but without proper assistance, it may simply drain you of souls. If you truly wish to start again, go to the place where your journey began. So you go to the old ladies that laughed at you in the beginning. Definitely the easiest boss in the game. There he was. I'm kidding. That would be pretty rough, though. It'd be rough as a first boss. Here we go. I hate this red effect, by the way. Like that over this. I hate that. So he's just been chilling there this whole time. We're gonna absolutely demolish him. Oh boy, my bad. Drinky drink. He's gonna pull off his arms any second now. Now, is that scary? Not really. In real life, it would be. Be like, what's wrong with this guy? But in the game, he's dead. Soldier Key and Soul of the Last Giant. Let's read them. Soul of the Last Giant. Soul of the surviving giant who was bound below the forest of the giants. The Lord of the Giants, who had brought wrack and ruin to the entire kingdom, was said to have been felled by an unknown warrior. Wonder who that could be. His beaten and broken remains were then dragged beneath the stronghold, where he was sealed away. Use the special soul of the last giant to acquire numerous souls, or to create something of great worth. The Soldier Key. Key to the soldier's door in the forest of fallen giants. A fort was erected in the forest to face the giants, but now the soldiers are lost and hollowed. They are enfeebled, but not without honor, and continue to steadfastly defend their country. What a waste of their time. Time to move on. We have 1.5 more areas, we'll call it. We have one more area that's dangerous, and the other area, not so much. Alright, Soldier Key opens up here. Hello? Anyone in here? Yes. There are indeed people in here. If you can call skeletons people. Alright, pretty rude of you to do that, but I'll forgive you. Ouch. The double sword treatment that was given to me, not fun. This area can be a little tricky. But if you take it easy... like I'm not doing. Okay, actually, that went pretty well. Oh! Alright, yeah, you just don't want to aggro all three at once. God, you're so slow in this game at first. Alright, yep. Because a lot of times what happens is I end up aggroing the entire group. And it's a bad time. That guy seems to not really care. I got a whip to read. I'm surprised he didn't fall on his back. Whatever, works for me. Whip, a leather whip, not normally used on the battlefield. Very effective against bare flesh, but not against enemies with armor or like protection. So this is where the real fun begins. Wait for it. Invaded by Armor Dennis. I've already read the leather stuff, I think. The leather set, but I got a hunter's hat and a large soul of a proud knight. We gotta kill this guy. I'm not in the mood to deal with this bullshit. Nice, that's a good solid hit. Not gonna lie, I forgot he did magic. Keep him off me. Oh, he just decided to just... Okay. You're not hitting me with that. Okay, he really isn't hitting me with that. Okay, I got a good hit there, and he's gone. Okay, there we go. That area is done. Hunter's hat. A leather hat with a large brim, traditionally used by bow hunters. The hunting goddess Evlana was no goddess at all, but rather a brave and highly skilled bow huntress. Long after her demise, the passing of Lord transformed her into a deity. Large soul of a proud knight. Large soul of a proud undead knight who has long ago gone hollow. Pretty simple. Black firebomb, bisque urn filled with black powder. Explodes, inflicting great fire damage. Utilizes a powerful explosive developed in the fallen kingdom of Ferosa. Black firebombs can cause harm to their owners when misused, and Ferosa law defines stringent standards for their safe storage. Seed of a tree of giants. Yes, I forgot to read this one. A lump of something obtainable from a giant tree makes enemies react to invaders. When the giants fell, they grew into great trees. Death is not the end, for anything that has ever once lived remains a part of a great cycle of regeneration. But what of those outside of the cycle? Alright, final part. These guys are annoying right here. Yeah, they always get their jab in. Let's see, do a perfect Jason Bourne roll. Okay. Take that. Common fruit. We'll have to read that. Okay, fine. Fine. Have it your way. Oh wow, you guys are so annoying. I'm stuck. I just realized that guy was alive. Oh, panic. Just go up here and heal. Okay. Oh, hey, buddy. God, they're fast. There we go. As for you... Life gem. Let's read the... I'm sorry? What is that guy up to over there? Common fruit. A spotted fruit. Temporarily boosts poison resist. This common fruit has no taste, but when facing a true test of metal, its benefits could make the difference between life and death. So this is where the boss usually is. But as you can see, ain't no boss. We made it. But there's one more set of items to read. And it's right here. And it's the Drang Lake set with the Drang Lake sword. Let's read it right now. First off, we have the Drang Lake sword. Drang Lake sword. Great sword of Drummond, Royal Army captain. An old and unadorned sword, perhaps, but the pride and joy of this venerable captain. An heirloom passed from grandfather to father, and then from father to son. Drummond, and those before him, used this sword to repel those who would threaten their great land. Drang Lake mail. Traditional Drang Lake armor, belonging to Captain Drummond. Drummond's ancestors have served Drang Lake for generations, principally as defenders of the great fort. But Captain Drummond is the last in this proud line. And the rest of the set says the same thing. And that's Forest of the Fallen Giants. For now. There's more to do later, but it's going to be a long while before we do anything like that. This is a really nice looking area, but enough appreciation. Let's move on here and finish up. Alright, so we're in the Lost Bastille. In the next video, I'll be opening up these chests, we'll read these items, and we'll start exploring here. I read 115 items in this video, so if you did enjoy, please like, comment, and subscribe. Help me out, help the channel grow, because this video is a lot of work, and the series will be quite a series, but at the end of the day, I do hope you're enjoying it. So anyway, yeah, I will see you in the next one. Peace.